Hi trainers, I'm Teeds. How's it going? I have some news. We have new leaks from our Chica Eevee about the new items that will come at some point in Pokemon Unite. And let me tell you trainers, we might see some huge shifts in the meta. If it is what I think it is, I feel like this will be super broken and horrifying and very scary. First, these are just leaks and data mines. Things can change until officially released by Pokemon Unite themselves. Huge shout out to our Chica Eevee for the leaks and data mines as always. Before we jump into it, as you can see, only 52.7% of you are subscribed. If we could reach 55%, I'd be so grateful. Subscribe and click the bell to be up to date with Pokemon Unite news, guides, and gameplays, and it would really just help the channel out. Okay, so for the question of the day, what do you think about these new items that are possibly coming to Pokemon Unite? I'd love to know your thoughts. With that, let's jump into it. There are 3 new items leaked for Pokemon Unite that I will be going through. The first one we have is a Rescue Hood. Rescue Hood has 2 effects, Heal Provide Rate and Shield Provide Rate. I'm not sure what para means, but maybe this means it's flat stats, which is attack and special attack. Now trainers, this item sounds broken as heck. From what I'm reading here, this item provides more heals and more shields. From tier 1, 20%, from tier 2, 30%, and from tier 3, 40%. This item will be incredibly broken on Pokemon like Blissey and Eldegoss. Some players like having pocket heal Blissies. You know how Serena is already, unstoppable with the Blissey. Now imagine that, but amplified. This means that a supporter that can provide heals and shields can now give you 40% more at tier 3, which is almost double the heals and double the shields. I'm wondering how it will work on Pokemon like Mr. Mime, who can provide heals through its power swap. I'm also wondering if it's just on allies you are providing for, or if it will also affect the healer or the provider. Since it says provide, you also provide yourself heals, so it could mean that it works for both you and your ally. I think for sure, at the very least, it is for your ally. This item is very much for Pokemon who provide supporting, so healers and shielders, I don't know. It will also be interesting to find out if it works with other items like Buddy Barrier. If I was a Blissey with Buddy Barrier and I procced it on another ally, would that increased shield rate also apply to the Buddy Barrier? I will definitely need to test this for sure, it sounds crazy. Whatever it does, it definitely seems to be the new staple for supporters that provide heals and shields. With that, the next item we have is an item that actually sounds like it will counter Rescue Hood, and that is Curse Incense and Curse Bangle. I don't know why it has 2 names, but it does, so I'm just going to call it Curse, but I'm interested in why it does. Effect, Heal, Get Rate. Seems like it's a special attack item as well. So at first I was confused. I thought this item meant that it will increase the heals you get. So for example, if you lifesteal with Drain Crown or Shell Bell, you could maybe heal more, or if you are getting healed from a Blissey, you will also receive more heals. It could still be that, but because it says minus percentages, it makes me think it is an anti-heal item. It is a bit vague with the heal get rate, but maybe it means to decrease the heal get rate. So at tier 3, Rescue Hood increases heals to 40%, but for the cursed item that says heal get rate, I'm going to speak about it if it was an anti-heal item, it will decrease it by 50%. So it will completely nullify Rescue Hood's heal increase, plus a bit more, meaning it can really impact healers in the meta. So far, we haven't had any items that can directly negatively affect how much an enemy Pokemon can heal, which has shown to be an issue with healers when they were super broken at times. But now we have an item that can actually counter healers. This item, if it is like an anti-heal in other games, may affect those who heal themselves as well, so Pokemon like Greedent who heals themselves through berries, or Pokemon who lifesteal themselves. If Rescue Hood only works for providing heals to others, it means Pokemon who lifesteal or heal themselves only will not be able to lighten the negative effects of the cursed item. I also wonder if this will affect Pokemon who are running Focus Band, like will it make them heal less? I'm also wondering how it will work, like how do you apply this effect? Is it like an aura? Will it affect Pokemon in the area around the player wearing it? Or is it affected by like attacking the enemy Pokemon? So if this is an item that you have on and you attack someone, will it place that curse/debuff on them? I'm so curious. But with that, even though it might counter the anti-heal of Rescue Hood, it doesn't seem like it will counter the shield rate. So Rescue Hood would still be very insane on Pokemon who can provide shields to others, which is still so much, like 40% more shields. That's insane. An interesting thought is like, would you get more shield on like Score Shield or something? Because if it's provide shield, and if you can provide for yourself, would it also increase on Score Shield? That's so much to think about. On the other side of this, if this actually just means that Pokemon can increase the heals they get / receive, and this is not an anti-heal item, then that is just extremely broken, meaning it will also be insane with items like Rescue Hood. It sounds way too broken to be true, so I don't know, it's why I think it must be an anti-heal item, especially with the negative percentages. But with that, it seems like regardless, Rescue Hood provides a lot, and it might be a staple on Pokemon that provide heals and shields. I don't see why you wouldn't grab that item because it's an insane buff, like 40% is a lot. But if this item is an anti-heal item, I also see that this item will also be equipped to counter it, which means it will also be a staple because I feel like a lot of games have healers in their team. And if you want to counter those insane heals, you're probably going to have to equip these cursed items. It will be very interesting to see how the builds will change and how it will go. If you have a team that fails to build this anti-heal item and the other team has a healer, then they kind of just have free reign with its heals because it'll be incredibly hard to defeat them with how much they can heal. I just can't even imagine that. And also with draft pick as well in Master, at some point, it will introduce more counter building so you can see if they have a healer or not, so you'll know if you have to equip it or not. So that is also very important to note. And the last item we have is Slick Spoon. So Slick Spoon, the effect is change magic defense penetration rate, and the param is attack, tier 1 is 20%, tier 2 is 30%, and tier 3 is 40%. So this item for me doesn't make a lot of sense, but from what I can read, it seems like it's a counter against magical defense. So Pokemon who stack magical defense or Pokemon wearing an item like Assault Vest, it should help going against Pokemon who are trying to counter magical defense, so special attack defense. This item, I really just don't have any idea. Right now, Assault Vest is not an item I'm a super big fan of. There are just other items I'd rather build. That being said, it's not a useless item at all, but this item also just sounds a bit niche so far. However, it is percentage based, so like 40% penetration? I have no idea. Because Assault Vest, as far as I know, doesn't use the percentages. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very confused about this one. There's just not enough information for me on Slick Spoon to actually form like a proper opinion on. But from the little information that I have, it just seems niche so far. But we'll see when we have more information on it. So what do you think, trainers, about all of these new items? I think that Rescue Hood and the Curse item will at least become meta and a staple for some Pokemon if it works the way I think it does. But that's just my early thoughts. It could be very different when it comes to the game. A lot of us on PTS, before we could actually test it, thought Drain Crown was going to be incredibly broken or strong. But it turns out it was a lot weaker than we thought. I would also love to see some buffs on other items like Rocky Helmet, Leftovers, and XP Share. Okay, so with that, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, trainers. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about these items. I would love to know. Like the video if you found this interesting. I hope to catch you for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!